Hi Year 9, we're going to have a quick video here about a bit of a recap about y equals mx plus c. That was straight line graphs. Now the reason that we're doing straight line graphs is because simultaneous equations can be solved graphically. So if you drew two lines, it's where they meet and that would be the solution. So we're just this week having a recap about y equals mx plus c and constructing straight line graphs. Now, in order for us to know the gradient and where it cuts the y-axis, it must be in the form y equals, okay? And then the number before the x is known as the gradient, which is the steepness of the line. And the number, whether it's positive or negative, is where it cuts the y-axis. Now, m can be negative as well. That means that the line would go this way, okay? If it's positive, it will go this way. And then obviously this can be positive or negative, whether it's above the axis or below the axis. Right, so if we look at our first one here, we've got y equals 5x minus 3. So the number before the x is 5, so the gradient therefore would be 5. Okay, and it cuts the y-axis at minus 3. As a coordinate then, that would be 0, minus 3, because the y-axis is always 0, and then obviously that will be a negative 1. Right, what can we see that's different here? Well, it's not in the form y equals mx plus c. So when it's like this, we might have to rearrange, and we just simply use our ringing and flinging to get things over. So if I was to move this one over, I would have y equals, so I'm going to ring the minus 2x, so that's going to become positive 2x on the other side, 2x, and then that's still a positive 7. So I can see here that the gradient of the line, okay, is going to be 2, because that's the value before the x, and then the other number is a positive 7, so it cuts at 0, 7 as a coordinate. Okay, now we're going to look at calculating the gradient from the line. Okay, so these are some of the questions that you've actually got. If I look at this one here, so I've got the line drawn. So I'm always wanting to have it in the form y equals mx plus c. Now I can see that it cuts at minus 1, so I know that bit on the end is going to be minus 1. So I've got y equals. Now I need to work out the gradient of this line. Now to work out the gradient, and you might want to get this in your notes, okay, is the difference in height over the difference in width. Okay, so we'll make sure that that's clear in our notes there. Now, obviously height, okay, or difference of change, okay, that could also be the change, we use that symbol for the change in y over the change in x, if we're talking about the coordinates. So I'll show you what I mean. So we can just create a triangle here. Now I can see, use whole points, so I've got a triangle there and a triangle there, so I'm going to pop that triangle in. Okay, to see what the gradient is. Now you've got to be really careful that you're actually using the numbers here, because the scales can change. Don't just look at the squares. Okay, so the difference in height is from 5 to 2, so that's 3, and the difference in width is 1. So it'll be 3 over 1. So here the gradient is 3 over 1, which is 3. So the answer to this question would be y equals 3x minus 1. Okay, because the gradient is 3, okay, and it cuts at minus 1. Right, let's try this one. Now, still using this bit here. Now I need to create that triangle, so I'm going to go from here to here, okay. Now, the first thing we can see that this is a negative gradient, because it's going downwards like this. So the value before the x will be negative. So if we think about how it's going to look, it's going to be y equals mx plus c. Now let's put in what we know. Right, we can see that where does it cut the y-axis? It cuts the y-axis at 3. So this last bit here will be 3. Now, move that along a bit, sorry. So Now we've got to work out the gradient, so the difference in height. Now the difference in height has gone from 3 down to 0, so the gradient is going to be -3 over, okay, and then the difference in width, well, it's gone from 0 to 3, which is 3. So -3 divided by 3 is -1. So my equation of my line is y equals -1x plus 3. Now, technically we don't need to write -1. That would also be acceptable to have -x plus 3. Okay, right, so what you need to do now is have a go at the questions that you've got there. Jot the answers down. When you finish lesson 2, then you're going to email them to myself or Miss Corbin, okay, and we'll let you have the answers, but I want to make sure that you've got those done. Okay, thank you very much. Goodbye.